Good evening, everybody. We have with us Dr.Mansha Upadhyay. She has successfully cleared her FMGE June 2022 exam. Welcome, Dr. Mansha.
Hello, sir. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, Dr. Mansha. Mansha, where are you from and which college have you studied? Please let us know a few things about you. How was your journey all about?
Sir, originally I'm based from Mumbai and I went to 𝗏𝗺 Medical University. I stayed there for about 5 years, and due to the pandemic, I had to come back in January 2020.
How was your journey there in China?
I actually studied for whatever that was taught there, which was obviously not enough. We found that out later when we come to India and we start preparing for the exams, and then we finally discover that it's not enough. What is taught there is never enough. It's not even 50% of what we need to know, unfortunately. So I did study. I wouldn't say I didn't, but I started studying in my third year, and that is again only for the university exams. So I started when I came back here. Initially, I didn't think I would be writing the exam because I still wanted to intern in China because of the NMC requirements that you have to have interned from your parent university. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case. So I convinced myself that, hey, you have to write this exam. So I was like, okay, might as well take coaching.
Once you have started this preparation, you must, I understand that you are only preparing for your university curriculum there, and to come and understand the requirements of licensing exam and how big of this task you felt, and how did you break this down, and what was your approach towards this exam?
Initially, I was very stressed. I didn't think I could do it because of the knowledge that was taught to us. And then I saw the past papers and I was like, no, I don't think I can do it by myself. I don't think, because I don't know most of it. So then I spoke with my dad. I was like, what do you think I can do? And he was like, you don't have a choice. You have to do it. You really don't have a choice. And I was like, that's true. I don't have a choice. And I think my situation was more so that I didn't have a choice. I had to clear it. If I don't clear it, I can't intern. So I think because of that, I think that was my driving factor, that it's either make it or break it. Initially, when I had come back, as I said, did not plan on. Then I started looking for, okay, what's the strategy? How do I start if I have to clear this exam? So I started asking my seniors, and during that time, the FMG pattern was very different. So if you just did your rapid revision, you would make it. And that's what happened with my seniors. They just did the rapid revision and they made it. So then I spoke with a couple of my friends who had joined Arise, and they coincidentally came in contact with me again. So I was like, listen, guys, what was your prep like? What did you do? Can you guide me? So there's a friend of mine, 𝗬𝗲𝗴𝗿𝗺, and she was with you guys. So she guided me. She said, Arise is really nice. So that's how I came in contact with Arise. Right. And then that's how I started, actually.
So I hope we didn't disappoint you with the whole thing. And it's not this institute now. We are placed in Delhi, Chennai, Kerala, and Hyderabad. And because of the love and affection of the students throughout the country, today we are very happy and proud to say that we are able to cater to all the students in different cities now. How did you feel with the classes in Arise, and how was your interaction with your teachers, and what did you feel different from your preparation and going ahead with Arise classes? Did you stick to the schedule with Arise and Arise teachers?
Yes, I stuck with the schedule. I actually scheduled and I sat down. My interaction with the teachers was actually quite fun because I have a sort of sense of humor, so I like to make jokes during the class. And I think teachers were also fun. Like they liked it. I'm glad they were not offended. But yeah, I think our coordinator Andy can vouch for it, that I did give him a hard time about the classes and the timings. So yeah, but I did sit for all of my lectures.
So basically you're saying that, it was very important that you stick with your class schedule. Whatever the teacher comes, whatever time comes, the teacher comes, sit with him, they make down the notes. Did you write the notes yourself, or did you carry it from your seniors or something?
No, I made my own notes because I feel like when I write, I recollect it better. So I always made sure that even though some of the teachers used to provide us with notes, I made sure that I wrote my own. In case I missed on something, I can always look back on. But I always made sure that I was making my own notes.
Handwritten notes are the gold standard, right? At any point of time, your own writing, handwritten notes, right? So that will ease out the preparation.
Yes.
And Mansha, which subjects did you like? Which lectures did you really enjoy learning at Arise? And any specific mentions you have?
Yeah, I loved Dr. Ismail. I loved Dr. Sandeep. I really liked your radiology lecture. Actually, there was one specific question that came from your pictures that a lot of people couldn't answer. And I think only Arise people were able to answer. There was this image of the baby upside down. And I think that was the same picture that you showed us. And I saw that picture. I was like, oh, I'm so glad Khaleel sir taught us that. So definitely the top 3 has to be you guys. And then again, Singaram sir was very good. Really liked him. So yeah, I think all of the teachers were very nice, but these were my favorites for sure.
And Mansha, how about your MCQ practice? Were you doing subject-wise MCQs, or were you following the on theory more? Like if you have done a subject in the class, were you sitting down and doing subject-wise and topic-wise MCQs, or did you learn more towards the knowledge and more theory, and you kept your MCQs towards the end of your preparation? How did you balance that?
Sir, I attended some of the MCQs. I'm not going to lie, I didn't do all of them, but I did make sure that I was doing the weekly test that was given, the subject-wise test. No matter how many MCQs I did, I didn't do, I would say, but I made sure I was attending the weekly test and the combined subject test at every month end. I made sure I did that at least. I really wanted to concentrate on my theory as well. So if sometimes when the class is winding around 6-ish, 7-ish, and if I knew I had to make a choice between revising or attending the test, then I would revise and then attend the test. Maybe I did actually 45 days before the exam.
Did you feel low anytime? Did you feel that this is not possible? This is not going the right direction. This is not the way to do. Like, when you're going through such a big task, a lot of thoughts that come into. And I remember, the kind of frustration, you would say, the anxiety through the process and all. Did it frequently happen to you, and how did you overcome that? I mean, what was your strategy to, just move out from that phase?
I actually am very glad that, first of all, I made the decision of having online classes, because normally if I was feeling low, I would be carried on with that mood forever and I would not be able to recover from that. But knowing that I have a class tomorrow, I have to wake up irrespective of what happens, how my mood is, how stressed I am, whatever is going on in my house, I have to attend this class. And I think that actually uplifted my mood, because once you're in class and once the teacher starts teaching, you forget about your whole mood, you forget your anxiety. You start actually listening to the lecture, you start making notes, and then where did the anxiety go? You don't know. And I think Sandeep sir, actually, right before our exam, he helped a lot with the anxiety, because I think he attended the longest lecture. I think we were here till 12 a.m. listening to him. And he actually told us that at every question paper, you'll get these set of 20 questions. No matter which part, you'll get that on. And once you crack that, your pace will begin, like you'll just start rolling, and then, it won't stop. You'll gain that confidence. And I think that actually did happen with me in the exam. So I was very glad that I took the online lecture. I even attended the rapid revision, because I think that boosted sort of my confidence that, I can do it. If everybody else can do it, I think I can do it too.
Nice. So basically you aligned yourself with the schedule, okay, with the system.
Yes.
You did try to, go into your own zone, and, when you're feeling low, you try to come back, attend the class, no matter what these phases, right? You always kept it. That's a nice strategy that, you align. Once you have trusted and joined the system, align with the system, complete the systems on time. And did you miss out on any subjects, Mansha? Like, did you do all the 19 subjects?
I did all of them with Arise. And I think I was very happy that, since my main issue was planning. Even though I call myself a planner, my main issue was planning. I take a lot of stress in planning what subjects to do, what to leave out. And with Arise, the thing is, they've already planned it out for you. You just have to follow through, just revise, and that's it. And that made it so much easier for me. I didn't have to worry about one more thing that, hey, these subjects are left out. I haven't done those. No, I know that's in the schedule. That will happen whenever it's due. I just need to study and focus on what's given to me right now. And that's that. I think that kept my focus very present there. I didn't have to worry about the rest of the other things and what everybody else was doing. I didn't worry about any of that.
So basically, you did all the 19 subjects thoroughly. It is not that, the exam is crackable just by doing 10 subjects or 14 subjects.
No.
And that is what I strongly suggest. You need to understand all the 19 subjects well, and then only you can attempt the questions, and these chances of clearing the exam gets much higher.
I would like to say this, that I'm so glad I did all of the subjects, because I think about 16 to 17 questions were from ENT and Opthal. Those kind of subjects don't really come, like you don't get that many questions from subjects like these. About 16 questions were from ENT, and I'm so glad I did that, because ENT is a subject that majority of people miss out on. They don't take it that seriously.
What was your revision strategy? Did you do revisions, during your course, or did you wait for your subjects to be over and then you started your revision? And how did it go? How was the revision sessions for you?
So I used to revise every day after class, irrespective of what time the class finished, I used to make sure that I have at least 4 hours in hand where I can revise whatever is taught for the day. I made sure that I did that. And with that being said, I used to revise everything that was taught the day before as well. So I would do what is taught today and what's taught yesterday. And then overall, by the end of like the subject, I would have revised the entire subject about at least 2-3 times. I did that, and then I left that subject right there. Then I moved on with the next subject with the rise. And eventually when we had the rapid revision series, I was revising it again. And I was making notes again in the rapid revision of all the subjects. Irrespective of me making notes earlier, I made notes again. And I revised those notes. I revised my own notes the day before the exam. And so I think about 4 or 5 times the revision must have happened. And I didn't even realize it. It wasn't even that much of a hard work for me. It just happened.
That's what the, important strategy I feel, Mansha, that helped you in your preparation. Because, students, I see many students postponing the entire revision part towards the end of the last month. Revision should not happen that way. Revision should ideally, like as you said, should happen the same day. You started revising the same day, and also before the subject-wise exam, and also, towards the end, anyways, you'll be revising the entire subject. So that way, at least, you'll have a good 3 to 4 revisions that will consolidate all the learning that you have done throughout the process. What was your scores in the beginning when you're doing grand test, subject-wise test? Did you score well, or did you start from a low score and then gradually improved on it? How was your journey? Were you able to score well in all the exams?
No, I scored very bad. I scored very bad on all of the tests, and I was very disappointed. But then I was like, what if the faculty is making the test this way, so they're preparing us for the worst? Every time I would feel like, oh my God, I'm not doing well, I would go to my mom and I'm like, you know what? I think the test is tough because they're preparing us for the worst. It's okay. I'll just memorize the answer. I'll just remember why it is, why am I wrong? So that's what I did. And I think that's what helped me, because I would go back, I would read why my answers were wrong. And then I'd be like, okay, you know what? This is the right answer. This is why it's right. This is the mistake that you're making. And I think that helped me a lot in understanding my own solving skills. That made me understand where in the question, which part should I pay more attention to? Where was I making mistakes? Because I made so many mistakes. So my scores were terrible.
So that's nice that, you didn't judge yourself with each exam and stuff. You always took it as a learning process. And you analyze the exam, post-exam, you put in time to understand where you went wrong and why you went wrong. And, that analysis is important to have a gradual improvement. So students should not start expecting to score very well from the very first exam or in every grand test and get disappointed if they're not scoring well. How did you feel the exam as such? Was it similar to what you were doing in your grand test, or was it very different, or what did you find the exam like?
Before the exam, when I was going for the exam, I was like, everybody was very nervous. But I distinctly remember looking at my mom, and I looked at her and I was like, do you think I will pass? Or do you think I will pass with really good marks? So that was the confidence that I had in my abilities. I was like very, very confident. Like, you know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to be fine. Then I looked at the paper and I was like, oh, okay. It's okay. No need to worry. It's okay. It's not that bad. I think the beginning questions were from micro, and micro is not my strongest subject. And the first 10 questions, unfortunately, were micro for me. So I skipped, and I was like, it's okay. Eventually I'll find something that's my subject. So I would say that the exam was, the pattern-wise, it was similar to the grand test questions. It was. Obviously, it's not going to be identical. If you expect that, then you're just cheating yourself. You can't expect the same paper. All you can do is expect that the pattern is going to be similar. You're going to be thinking in the same direction that you need to be thinking in. But otherwise, your content needs to be strong, irrespective of how many questions you practice. They're not going to repeat the questions. However, opthal questions were repeated. ENT, I think 2 questions were repeated. Otherwise, it was a very new paper to us. There was not much of surgery. Medicine was very much integrated with pharma. There was a lot of pharma and a lot of microbio. So I guess it's all unexpected every time. But yeah, the question pattern was very similar to grand tests.
The good thing that I like about the conversation that you have told me is the kind of positive mindset. When you told your mom that am I going to pass, or am I going to pass with good marks? I thought the second part would be like, am I going to pass, or am I going to fail? But that kind of positive frame of mind is very, very important, especially when you are, facing such a exam with a very low pass percentage, and that kind of fighting spirit, that kind of a positive attitude is very, very important in most of the students I see. During this journey, like how was your support system? Like your family, your friends, did you used to talk, discuss with your, were you having a group study kind of thing, or there was a lot of sharing of notes, a lot of sharing of material from different sources, and like how was your support system during your preparation?
For my family, my dad is very supportive. Both my parents are very supportive of me. They give me every sort of emotional support that I need, every sort of hug, every sort of pat on the back, even though I know I didn't do well. They're like, you know what, you tried your best and that's all matters. And I think in the end, that's what kept me going, that for my parents, me trying my best is all that matters. Irrespective of where my scores stand, where I stand in my life, what my parents think, that's what matters to me. And they were proud of me nevertheless. So I think having your parents' support, which a lot of people unfortunately don't have, is very important. And I feel like that played a major role in me, because every day my dad would see me stressed and he'd be like, you know what, why are you stressed? You know, you have your father here. What are you stressed for? You don't have to be stressed for anything. So I was like, you know what,
really
he's right.
There are a lot of juniors listening to you today, and there are a lot of students who are actually got 148s, 145s, and the 140s, and there are a lot of students who are starting fresh. What would you suggest? What were your mistakes that you feel you improved on? Like what you think you should have, done better so that the exam would have been much better for you, or any things that you feel that you could improve on, or any mistakes that you learned from during this process of the exam?
The one thing that's most important, which a lot of people neglect, is routine. Because a lot of people have started studying during the night time because they feel like they can get more done during that time, and the exam is usually in the morning, your brain does not wake up because you've gotten used to it. For 5 months, you've been just working at night and your brain has been sleeping in the day. When you actually sit in the exam, your brain is like, it's not registering well. So the one most important thing that a lot of people neglect is routine. So what I did was, since I started on, I think 11th or 10th of January, our RISE classes started. And since that time, I made sure I was waking up at 5 a.m., regardless of what time the class was ending, because I knew the center that I got was in 𝗵𝗿, and I knew I would get it somewhere around that. So I would have to travel for a 45-minute, considering Mumbai traffic, I just knew. So I knew I had to give myself that time to mentally prepare and not rush and carry everything I need. So I made sure I woke up at the same time. I took break around the same time. If I had classes, then yeah, it was a little hard, but I made sure I was sitting in the same environment, like not having any back support, because you don't get that back support. You have to sit the entire exam. So I made sure I was sitting properly. I was attending the class. I was writing. I was attentive during the entire time. I was eating less. And I don't think people need to do that, but I was eating less because I feel sleepy after eating. So I would avoid eating in the afternoon and I would eat in the night. And I would time myself according to, like, I was going to write the exam tomorrow. So one most important thing that a lot of people neglect is routine. And the second thing is to be confident. You've done whatever you need to do. Just be confident. And I think if you're confident enough in your abilities, even if you see a question and you're like, I don't know the answer to this, you can figure it out. You know the answer. Just have confidence in yourself. Just think differently than you would, and you wouldn't be able to think differently if you were anxious. So just be confident. So these two things I would like to tell everybody. And irrespective of, even if you missed it by 1 mark, I know losing it by 1 mark or losing it by 20 mark does not make a difference. You have worked hard, only you know that, and you can work harder than you have. Just focus on that. There's no point in focusing on what you couldn't do. Just focus on what you can do now. That's all.
So maintaining a healthy routine, right? And being able to see that you are very active during your exam timings, during your classes, right? That's an important aspect, and really glad that you bought in. And I would request all the students who are preparing and listening to this session, see that you rectify your routines, make some changes so that you are active in the day, right? And give yourself sufficient sleep and rest, and keep yourself healthy, and see that you prepare this exam in a positive frame of mind, with a positive health and a positive mindset. And there must be a lot of juniors also listening in their first year, second years. Any words for them? When should you think they should start studying, and what is your suggestions for them?
There's no right time to start studying. Whenever you feel like you need to start studying, start studying. There's no right time for it. Only you can understand what your abilities are and how much you are capable of knowing and how much you know. A lot of people around me were very much, into it, and they were very ahead of me when it came to studies. So they knew they could start later and they would still catch up. So it depends on your individual abilities. I would say understand yourself and know what's the right time for you to start. This is not a horse race, as my dad likes to say. This is a marathon. You're going to be in this for a long time. So make sure when it's convenient for you, when you're mentally and emotionally ready, that's when you start. Because that's what matters. Nobody else's score, nobody else's success matters. Yours does.
Really nice, Dr. Mansha, and it's been a pleasure talking to you, and we wish you huge success and further laurels and success going ahead in your life. We are sure that, with the kind of positive mindset and the kind of, journey that you already had for your exam preparation, you definitely will be much, much successful in life. And you as the motto of ARISE, right? Building better doctors, you'll all make us proud being a better doctor and serving the society. Okay, God bless you, Dr. Mansha. Okay, we are very, very proud and happy to on your God bless you. Thank you so much.